10 Down WJ presents Shattered Reflections. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Control. The rain poured heavily outside, a relentless symphony against the windowpanes of the small apartment. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Jordan leaned against the kitchen counter, his arms crossed tightly over his chest, a storm brewing behind his dark eyes. Across the room, Mia stood by the window, her gaze lost in the raindrops racing down the glass. "Why do you keep wearing that?" he snapped, his voice cutting through the silence like a knife. Mia turned slowly, her heart sinking at the sight of the expensive necklace glimmering against her skin, the one her ex had given her, a symbol of a past she had tried to escape. "It's just a necklace, Jordan," she replied softly, careful not to provoke him further. "Just a necklace," he echoed, incredulous. "It's a reminder of him, isn't it? Do you still think about him when you wear it?" "No, I don't," she protested, her voice rising defensively. "Then take it off," he commanded, his tone brooking no argument. Mia hesitated, her fingers instinctively grazing the cool metal. It was a small piece of her history, a relic of a time when she had felt loved and cherished. But Jordan's anger loomed over her like a dark cloud, suffocating and oppressive. With a resigned sigh, she unclasped the necklace and placed it on the counter, a silent act of submission that deepened the fissures in her heart. Chapter 2. The Weight of the Past. As the days turned into weeks, the cycle of shouting matches and silent treatments became a familiar rhythm in their relationship. Jordan often brought up her past relationships, comparing himself to her exes, questioning her loyalty, and fueling her insecurities. "Does he make you feel good, Mia?" he would ask, his voice dripping with venom. "Was his sex better than mine?" Mia would shrink under his scrutiny, her heart racing as she struggled to find the right words. The truth was messy, complicated, and she was terrified of how he would react. "Jordan, it's not about them," she would whisper, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. He would scoff, his laughter harsh and mocking. "You're just saying that to make me feel better. Admit it, you're still hung up on your ex. How can I compete with that?" In moments like these, Mia felt small and fragile, like a porcelain doll on the edge of a table, ready to shatter at the slightest touch. Chapter 3. The Illusion of Love. Jordan's possessiveness extended beyond words, it seeped into every aspect of Mia's life. He scrutinized her outfits, dictating what was appropriate and what was not. "You're not going out in that," he would say, his tone final. Mia often tried to appease him, wearing the clothes he deemed acceptable, but when he wasn't around, she would slip into her favorite jeans and a soft, faded t-shirt that made her feel like herself again. One evening, while getting ready to meet a friend, she put on the necklace again, feeling a flicker of rebellion. When she heard the key in the door, her pulse quickened. "What are you wearing?" Jordan's voice was low and dangerous as he stepped into the room. "It's just an old necklace," she replied, her heart racing. "Take it off," he ordered, his eyes narrowing. "No," she whispered, her spirit igniting. He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. "You think you can defy me? You think you can wear that and not think of him?" Mia felt like a caged animal, her instincts screaming to break free. "I'm not thinking of him, Jordan. I'm just trying to be myself." Chapter 4. The Strain of Insecurity. As the arguments escalated, so did the emotional toll on both of them. Jordan, battling his own insecurities, sought validation in controlling Mia. He would drink his evenings away, drowning his frustrations in alcohol, while Mia sought solace in the fleeting moments of joy that came from her friends and her unfiltered self. But the nights were the hardest. Jordan's drunken outbursts would often spiral into rage, and Mia would find herself trapped in a cycle of apologies and guilt. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you," she would say, even when she knew she hadn't done anything wrong. "Just admit it, you're not happy with me," he would retort, his voice laced with bitterness. Mia would shake her head, tears brimming in her eyes. "I love you, Jordan. I'm trying." "Trying isn't good enough," he would snap back. In the darkness, she would lay awake, her mind racing as she replayed their arguments, searching for the moments where everything had gone wrong. Chapter 5. The Breaking Point. One fateful night, the tension reached a breaking point. After a long day at work, Mia came home to find Jordan in a drunken stupor, the empties scattered around the living room like fallen soldiers. What's wrong with you? She asked, concern edging her voice. Nothing, he slurred, his eyes glassy. Just thinking about how much better your ex was. Not this again, she sighed, the weariness settling into her bones. Why do you always defend him? He shouted, his face contorting in rage. I'm not defending him. I'm tired of this. Mia's voice rose, the frustration spilling over. In a flash, Jordan lunged, his hand gripping her wrist with a force that made her wince. You're not going to leave me for him, he yelled, his breath reeking of alcohol and anger. Jordan, let go, Mia cried, panic rising in her chest. In that moment, the years of emotional turmoil came crashing down on her. She felt like she was drowning, gasping for air as Jordan's grip tightened. Chapter 6. The Fight for Freedom. With a surge of adrenaline, Mia wrested her wrist from his grasp, stepping back and meeting his gaze with newfound determination. I deserve better than this, she declared, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. You think you can just walk away? He spat, his anger palpable. I can't keep doing this, she replied, her heart pounding. You're breaking me, Jordan. He stepped closer, his expression dark. You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back. Mia shook her head, tears streaming down her face. No, I won't. I'm choosing myself this time. With trembling hands, she grabbed her phone and left the apartment, her heart racing as she stepped into the rain-soaked streets. The cool droplets fell on her skin like a baptism, washing away the remnants of Jordan's control. Chapter 7. Reclaiming herself. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions. Mia moved in with her friend, Sarah, who offered a safe haven away from the chaos. Take your time, Sarah encouraged, her voice soothing. You've been through so much. Mia found solace in rediscovering herself. She wore her favorite clothes, adorned herself with the jewelry she had hidden away, and embraced her true self without fear of judgment. As she began to heal, she realized that her past relationships didn't define her. She was not the sum of her experiences or the opinions of others. Chapter 8. The Road to Healing. Over time, Mia sought therapy, working through her feelings of inadequacy and the scars left by Jordan's emotional abuse. She learned to set boundaries, to recognize her worth, and to embrace her individuality. Jordan, on the other hand, spiraled deeper into his own demons. Without Mia, he faced the reality of his actions, but the alcohol continued to numb his pain. He would often call, pleading for her to return, but Mia remained resolute, refusing to fall back into the cycle of toxicity. Chapter 9. The Power of Letting Go. Months passed, and with each day, Mia grew stronger. She found joy in the little things, a sunrise, a warm cup of coffee, laughter with friends. She began to understand that love should lift you, not tear you down. One evening, as she admired herself in the mirror, she put on the necklace from her past, a symbol of her journey. This time, it felt different. It was a reminder of how far she had come, not of who she had lost. She smiled at her reflection. The woman looking back at her was no longer a shadow of her former self but a vibrant individual ready to embrace life. Chapter 10. A New Beginning. Mia eventually started dating again, cautiously opening her heart to the possibility of love. She met Alex, a kind-hearted man who respected her independence and celebrated her quirks. Their relationship blossomed, built on trust and mutual respect. With Alex, Mia felt free to be herself, unburdened by the weight of the past. One evening, as they strolled through a park, Alex turned to Mia, taking her hand in his. You're incredible, you know that. Mia smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. Thank you, I've learned to appreciate who I am. As they walked, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow around them. Mia knew that she had finally reclaimed her life, and the shadows of her past no longer held power over her. Epilogue. The journey continues. In the months that followed, Mia embraced her newfound freedom, living authentically and cherishing every moment. She learned that healing was a journey, not a destination, and that it was okay to stumble along the way. Jordan remained a distant memory, a lesson in resilience and self-love. Mia had discovered the strength within herself to rise from the ashes, and she was determined to never lose sight of her worth again. As she looked ahead, she felt a sense of hope and excitement for the future, one filled with love, laughter, and the promise of new beginnings. 10 down WJ, where creativity meets impact. 10 down WJ, E, N, T,